We are losing friends at an alarming rate. 12% of people don't even have one friend. This is 4 times as much as 1990. We are putting up so many barriers between us and others that we're not going to be able to notice till it's too late. A lot of people are even confused on what a friend is. They hang around with people and maybe they go drinking with them and that's all they do. But if you think about it, they're not really your friends. They're just drinking buddies. And another pitfall people have, they consider the people that they work with close friends. And I have a bit of a rule: if you don't do things with them outside of work, then they're not friends. They're merely frequent associates of convenience because you're put together for so many hours a day. You might ask, well, why do you need friends? Why can't you just go it alone? Well, there's quite a lot of reasons for that, actually. If we start off easy, health reasons. So, for example, being lonely is actually worse for you than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. The amount of mental toll it takes on you is worse than obesity. We don't function well when we're ostracized from the group. It ramps up our anxiety and it just takes such a wear on us physiologically. I have been at a place when I had no friends, no real friends anyway, not people that I could really rely on and actually tell things about myself on a real level, and people that actually wanted the best for me in order to grow. All these beautiful, awesome people that came into my life, and I built that slowly and methodically. So I'm going to share with you the 5 things that I think you should be doing to grow your social circle. My first tip, and it's the most fundamental and the one people most commonly get wrong: be interested, not interesting. This is the area that people just fall down on so often. I've watched it over and over again. Is they'll feel socially anxious, maybe they're going to a party or just going to a social scene that they don't recognize. They think they need to sell themselves. They think they need to turn up and blow everyone away with who they are and what they know and how special they are. No, don't do that. People adore being heard. So if you're able to be someone that can actually stand there and just ask questions and be interested, people will love it, because funnily enough, we don't value our relationships based on how well we know them. We actually value it based on how well they know us. That's why people who are Catholic have an unbelievable relationship with their priest, because they go in and they talk to them and they express all these deep, dark things about themselves. And then they feel less alone. They feel like there's someone that truly knows them. Even though they know nothing about him, he does know them. And that's what matters. And that's why when you're trying to go into a different social scene, be interested. Ask questions from people. What this does for you is create endless conversation with people, because when you ask these kinds of questions, if you actually know about what they're talking about and you like it, brilliant, then you've just established a social connection with that person. If you don't know what they're talking about, this is just an opportunity for you to engage with someone, because when you kind of start picking up all these little bits of knowledge, it actually pays off. For example, you might speak to someone at a party and they talk about a subject you don't know. Maybe it's F1 racing. You don't really know anything about that. That's what it was like for me. But I listened to him and I was kind of engaged and I took that knowledge away. And then next time I was in conversation with someone else. It was like months and months later. But because I was able to offer that little bit of information I got from the previous interaction, this guy lit up, because that conveys your willingness to engage in the conversation, and that you listen to people, and finally that you listen to people and take away that knowledge, and you're not just sat there like a nodding duck just thinking, oh, I'm just going to try and get through this. You're actually engaging with the person. You do that, they will not want to leave you alone all night. They'll be like, this guy is amazing, he listens to me, he takes it on board, and he's able to also add to the conversation. Because one of the worst things you can do as well is take this to the extreme. And that's where all you do is listen. You don't have any opinions of your own, and you just kind of sit there like a wet blanket, not offering anything. Don't do that. That's not good either. This is the piece of advice that I've given out more than any other. if you have even one takeaway, this is the most fundamental. My second tip is to be proactive. It isn't just going to happen for you through thin air. You actually have to make this work a little bit. You have to be the one that tries to schedule things and organise things. You have to actually leave the house. The amount of people that speak about not having the level of social circle and friendships they want, all they do is sit in the house. They don't really go out. They don't meet any new people. How's that going to work for you? So, especially at the beginning, you should be going out, going to sort of clubs and groups. It's really easy and they're free. So I've spent my time going to salsa clubs, park runs, which is like a organised run 5k in the park every Saturday. I've gone to improv comedy and all these things where you just meet people. They're either free or they're very, very affordable. So you have to actually leave home in order to meet people. The way I've found to establish friendships that are already present, there's a simple formula for this. It's just shared experience times time. So the more shared experience you can get together over an extended period, that's how friendship works. That's why people in the military often refer to each other as not even friends, but brother and sister. That's how close their bond has become, because they're in an ultimate situation where they are going through constant shared experiences and they're doing it together and helping each other. And that just brings people so close. If you want to try and establish better connections, organise things and be the one to do that, because every group needs someone who's going to be a structural lead. One of the things that I did recently was I organised for a few friends to go to do a wolf run. This is like a Tough Mudder obstacle course race, and it's often regarded as one of the best things that we did. There is also an extreme of this. You don't want to be the guy who constantly pesters everyone with things to do, that it's just like, oh, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, and getting in a habit of being rejected. One of the ways around this that I've found is that you're going to do it either way. When I started going to park run and doing my runs on a Saturday, I knew I was going either way because it meant something to me. I didn't need anyone else to come with me, but I would offer it for other people to come with me. And funnily enough, they did, because I wasn't being needy and reliant on them. I was just doing what I thought was a good activity, and then other people naturally gravitate to that. My recommendation here, be very proactive. You need to take an active role in building your friendships. Sometimes you will just happen to bump across the right person at the right time and it might happen for you, but you shouldn't really rely on that being your main source of finding friends. Put yourself out there, and then once you have, establish a social connection, establish activities and things that you can do with that person. Doing this helps you not only just like find friends out there, because that's what you need to do to get out there, but this is what helps you establish pre-existing bonds and take friendships to the next level. There are some people that I only kind of knew, but then I organised a group holiday trip away, and then just over the course of that trip I got to know them really well, and now they're a close friend. This is the formula for friends, and if you follow it, you will have everything you could desire in a social group. Tip number 3 is being able to operate with multiple friends and kind of in multiple different social circles. We touched on neediness in the last section, but it comes up again. If you're only able to have 1, maybe 2 friends and they're both in the same circle, you're very vulnerable to the trials and tribulations of sort of friendship and things that happen. One of them might get in a relationship and isn't available anymore. You might have a disagreement with one, but who are you going to turn to at that point when you don't have your usual structure in place? So it actually weakens your ability to be a good friend because you're so overly reliant on these people. And it also encourages a really bad habit, and that is trying to turn this person into what you would like them to be. For example, if you have these friends that are artsy and creative, but you're also kind of sporty, maybe you'll start trying to force that on them and it's not who they are. But if you're comfortable in yourself, you could have these arty creative friends that bring out that side of you. But then you also have sporty friends that bring out this other side of you. We're multi-dimensional as people. And that is important, so you need to actually have the opportunity to show each different side of who you are. And the best way of doing that is by having multiple friends, and ideally in multiple groups. Tip number 4 is be someone worthy of being friends with. It's all well and good thinking that you need all these friends to fill up your life and bring some energy, some specialness to what you have going on. But what if you're not the person that's able to offer anything back to them? Even if you found the perfect people, why would they spend more time with you? It sounds harsh, but you need to be someone with something to offer. That's how it works. That's how friendships are. You bring something to the table, and it doesn't have to be everything. You don't have to be funny, smart, brilliant, charismatic, know lots of people, organised. You don't need to be all of them, but at least be able to do one or two. Maybe you're not the funny guy of the group, but you're really good at getting people organised and coming up with cool ideas of things to do. Maybe you're the really charismatic one that's able to take people on adventures. All these are just skills that you can develop to be a good friend, to be able to bring something to the group, have something to offer. I don't want to put pressure on people that they need to be anything other than what they are, because funnily enough, that's actually enough. You have such an intrinsic value that all you have to do is actually show who you are, and that's kind of enough. You don't really need to pretend to be funny if you're not. If you actually just bring your pure essence of who you are without all the walls and all the lies, people love it, because another talent you can have is that person who's most authentic in the group, because it encourages everyone else to relax, to sort of take their guard down and just be who they are. If you're struggling and you don't know where you would fit in a social group, just keep being more you, and people will love that. My final tip, number 5, pick friends that bring the best out of you. I've been in every kind of social group at this point. I've been in artsy ones, sporty ones, funny ones, gambly ones. I've been in ones where I've had a big voice in the group, and I've been in ones where I've been the butt of every joke. I've been across all of them, and everyone seems to operate differently in each group they're in, and a lot of them won't be right for you because maybe their interests don't align. Maybe the people that they are just doesn't allow you to shine just right. There is this quote, I don't know that it's entirely true, but it's true enough that it's worth knowing. And that is, you're not an introvert, your friends just suck. And I think it's kind of funny, and it also has enough truth in it that we can connect with it. In some circles, I think I've been as quiet as a mouse. I've just sat in a corner, not really wanting to show who I am, what I have to offer, for fear of just rejection, because the people in that group don't feel accepting towards what identity I think I have and what I have to offer. And that's really saddening, and it makes you start to think maybe it's you, and maybe you're not enough, maybe you are quiet, maybe you don't have a lot to offer, and maybe you're not funny. Then miraculously find this other group and you just seem to gel. You're throwing jokes around, everything you do seems to land, and it's all just vibrant and amazing, and it's just, sometimes it's chemistry, and that's sad. Sometimes it's interest, but don't be spending your entire time around just degenerating people that all they want to do is drink, complain, and gamble away whatever their future could be. It's tough. That you kind of need to experiment and find a group that's right for you, that brings out the best in you. Find friends that are aiming up, because they're out there. You've just got to find them. So that is my 5 tips for growing out your social network. Be interested, not interesting. Be proactive. Operate in multiple social circles. Be someone worthy of having friends. And finally, find the friends that bring out the best in you. Who you choose to spend time with will determine what you get out of life. There is no reason to spend your time lonely or surrounded by people that don't respect you. Follow these tips and you will be better than 99% of people. And that's all you need. We're not shooting for the moon here. I would not want to think back and say that I wasted my one life surrounded by people that I didn't even like. So go out there and find the people that bring out the best in you.